Not going to get into the fact of where this came from, how this was found, or anything weird like that. Just going to concentrate on the Omega Forma. Forma gear without resetting the rank. I have said for years they need to introduce a Prime Forma or something that does that, or maybe adds two polarities at once. The Omega Forma, yes, me wanty. I think there isn't a person in the game who doesn't want one, because the only problem that's going to come from that is they have to make it really hard to get. Why have they got to make it hard to get, you say? If you have 5 of these and they bring out something that you need to forma 5 times, you can level it up and forma it. They did this with a weapon recently, where you had to forma it 5 times to get it from max rank of 30 to a max rank of 40, because its max rank was actually 40, you just had to forma it to get it there. If you had 5 of these, you could have done that pretty much instantly as soon as you got it to 30. So I think they're going to be hard to get. But underneath that is the Umbra Forma. It's a placeholder which I don't understand why they would get rid of so much of the image, but never mind. It's a forma that can apply the Umbra polarity. The weapon in question, of course, is the Paracesis. This thing, you had to put, I think it was actually 4 forma, not 5, no, it was 5, forma into it to get it to its level of 40 from 30. If you had some of those Omega Forma handy, you could have done this instantly without resetting it to 0, but this is where I think this was an experiment for this particular forma. Yes, you can forma it at level 30, and you can add a polarity to it. I should have gone to this side, but whatever. You can add a V to it. And then you've got to level it up to 32 before you can add the next forma, which is very clever, and I wasn't thinking about this earlier, but you couldn't just sit there and go forma, 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 it's now rank 40. You still have to level it up in the meantime. Being the only frame that comes with these, here's the only frame that can make use of the added bonus that comes from running the Umbral Fibre, Umbral Vitality and Umbral Intensify, which obviously each one, when used in this configuration, has more than its standard counterpoint, which obviously in Norris himself, you can see 4,675. It is more than just running these mods by themselves, but it's the cost of using these that puts everybody off. This was mentioned in the forums a week ago, the Omega Forma and the Umbra Forma. Now, I do agree the Omega Forma is a good idea. I've mentioned it in the past. Call it a Prime Forma, Forma Prime, whatever, that takes Forma to build it and Argon Crystals, throw it behind a relic and release it to the world. Yes, do it. It would be great, especially with that melee weapon being a thing. You still have leveling to do in between it. It wouldn't ruin the game. It would make some things easier to do, but it would have to be a rare drop. It would have to be pretty hard to get the actual blueprint. The Umbra Forma, everybody wants, but as you can see from this writing, it was in the forums a week ago and asked the same question. Is this real or is it just Photoshop? Guess we'll never find out, because for some reason the entire forum post has disappeared. Meaning that this was probably all fake information that they didn't want out there. With it being a placeholder, it is a possibility that somebody was playing with the idea of it. But considering the actual forums themselves are missing a lot of posts, if we go to the staff posts for the past 70 days, there is one. This is actually not true. There was a lot of them there up until a few days ago when they all just, well, 2 days ago, when they all just magically disappeared. So it is a huge possibility that this forum post has gone as well, because the forum is broken, not because they are trying to hide something. Which is more than likely the case, because people are asking, is it real or has somebody photoshopped it? like a lot of things, when they are found in this fashion, they... Prime streamline is all you really got to say about that one. It doesn't exist. They did say somebody was just playing with it, see how game breaking it would be. These forma could be exactly the same. Information found this way is not factual information. It's the same with prime stuff before it's released, the stats on weapons. It's all subject to change, and unless Digital Extreme themselves turn around and say, these things are coming, this is what it's going to cost to build them, by the way, here they already are, you just have to take it all with a grain of salt, really, and hope that eventually they will allow us to Forma in the Umbra slot, because we really need that slot on other frames. Actually, throw the double grace on there and you have quite an evil Anaurus. Okay, I want 3 of those Umbral Formas right here, please. May have to revisit Anaurus and Nidus when if these things are a thing and do actually turn up, but for now, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch yous next time.